So if you make this copy, then what's going to open up is this slide. Okay, can everybody still see the slide? Because something weird happened when I started recording. You see the slide? Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, so here's the slide. Now you can't mess with this, so don't worry about that. Like these are just set as the background. So what this is, so chemical change color, and I've made like a little drawing, just like a Pictionary level drawing of chemical change. So there's like a drop going into a container of this liquid, and then even though they're both sort of like clearish, it changes to this red. So that's a color change. So what I want you guys to do is in this box over here, you just copy the picture. It doesn't have to be all of it, like it's the part of it that helps you remember color change, okay? So I made it as simple as I could. You may be able to think of something simpler. Okay, so like right here. And what I want you to see is, like I didn't really draw that much. Like some people get freaked out and they're like, ah, I can't draw, ah. Not that much. You can draw this much, okay? Because what I did is I just did a box of one color and a box of another color, all right? So the main things that you're gonna use for drawing, actually, let me move this over here and change my screen share so I can be honest. I don't have to be talking backwards. All right, so here, up here are all the shapes that you can make automatically. So if you click on there, shapes, there's all this stuff, okay? So here's this box. So if you draw a box and you click and drag and it makes a box. Oh, I'm gonna let Ibrahim on. If I wanted to change the color of the box, you look up here and there's a little paint bucket. You click on that and that changes it to whatever, okay? And all I did was I made another box, the same width. So I'm just doing copy paste. Okay, so now I've got another box. I'm going to change that to, you can have it be just transparent. I think I will. And then if you want to stretch it or squash it, you do like this. So I want it to be shorter, so there's just a little bit, and then I just fit it on the top like that. Okay. If I wanted to have the whole thing, like shrink it both down, I just select them both and then I can, you know, put them however I want them, like that. Okay. The arrow I made just because that's another one of the shapes. I can pick an arrow just like that. Ta-da. Oh, and then see on the special shapes, and you can use whatever shapes you want. See how they're, I can stretch and squash just like I could before. Ooh, like that. But there's also these yellow dots, and the yellow dots change the shape in its own special way. Like this tells you how deep to make the arrowhead. And then you can say like, oh, but I want it to be skinny like that. However you want. Okay, so there's that. If you wanted to do, the other thing that I use more is this line tool, and I like to use Scribble. So Scribble, and I think I made you do this the other day on the cabbage one too, in the cabbage lab. So if you just like click and hold, and whatever you do, just stays. Okay. Now, for this one, see like this, I just wanted to show you the rotate tool also, because see this drop here. If I went in there, because I was looking for like, oh, well, what looks like a drop of liquid? And I saw in the shapes, there's, where is it? There it is. There's this teardrop, but it's kind of like sideways. Okay. Like that. So I didn't want it to be like that. But to rotate, you see that little handle sticking off of there? That it's not a square, but it's a blue circle. So then you can rotate it however you want. Now I'll rotate it like this. Now I'll rotate it up like that. So if I wanted it straight up and down, it's like that. And see, there's that yellow thing. So the yellow boxes are like special controls on special shapes. So if I click on that, see how it changes? Look, I should have done that. I didn't see that until after. But that looks more like a drop now. But whatever, that's what I did. I don't care. It doesn't have to be super great. Okay? It just has to be enough for you to have an image in your mind. Just the action of drawing and thinking about that shape will cement that in your mind a little bit better. Okay? Remember, we're having a quiz on this tomorrow, so you can always go back and practice your the chemical physical change assignments, because they'll always take the highest score. So it does not matter. You can just use it to practice. Okay, and maybe it'll even do better, get a better grade. Okay, so for each one of these, you're going to go through. So like this, I just want to walk you through in case it's not clear what I was trying to draw, just to tell you. For this one, you know, it's the color change, putting a drop of something in there and getting a different color. For this one, I was drawing a piece of toast, like the bread goes to a piece of toast and there's the smell of toast coming off of there. So that's the gas release. For precipitate, I've got the drop of liquid going into a container of liquid, and then you get some weird solid that forms that fell to the bottom. Okay, I could have done the milk, but milk is kind of milk with like white stuff in there. It's kind of hard to draw. And I'm just trying to do simple. For this one, I've got some substance here, and then I put a drop of a clear liquid, and it made it catch on fire. I showed you a little video of that before. For the physical change, so change in shape is one of them. So I just have this stick that, or a piece of wire or something that then's bent. Okay, and to do this bend, I use the curve. So if you do just like click and then drag, and then I'm not dragging, I just clicked, and then I click where I want it to bend, and then I click another place. And when you're done, double click, and then it'll cut the end of the line. Otherwise, it'll keep going forever. Like you can go do 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 do, and then double click to stop. Okay. I think, is that all I wanted to do? Oh, I told you about rotating. Yes. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Any questions? Oh, here's a question. Can you do the box thing again? Yes, I totally can. So I'll just draw one here. So if I click on here on the shapes, and then I can pick whatever shape I want, whatever of all these things. Okay, some of you may recognize some of these from like when I graded your other things. I did the no symbol and then the happy face as like right or wrong. Okay, so here's the box. So I click and drag and then release, and that makes the box. If I wanted to change how thick the line is, that's this right here, this border. So like that. So if I made it like much thicker, then I get a thick line. That's what I did here with this scribble, is I made it thicker. And you can change the color of the line too. So it's like, oh, now it's green, and I can fill it with some other color like that. Yep, so and if I did scribblies, yeah, because ordinarily if you just do scribbles, it's pretty thin, but you can see it looks different if you make it thicker or even bigger like that. Okay. Okay, how's that? Ready to try? Again, don't get freaked out about like, oh, it's not beautiful enough. It's not supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be like you thinking of an image. Okay,